You don't talk too much, but somehow you're always too much. Too emotional, too quiet, too intense, too distant, too complicated. It's strange, isn't it? You replay conversations in your head, trying to find the exact moment everything went wrong. The sentence that sounded normal in your mind, but felt wrong to them. The silence that felt safe to you, but looked like attitude to someone else. And the worst part? You're not even trying to be difficult. You're trying to be careful. You're trying to be kind. You're trying to be understood. But somehow you always end up being the misunderstood one. The one people label before they listen. The one people assume before they ask. The one who feels everything deeply, but explains nothing completely. And slowly, you start questioning yourself. Am I the problem? Why can't I just be normal? Why do people get me wrong again and again? But here's the truth no one tells you. It's not that you're hard to understand. It's that people are not used to understanding someone like you. And once you see why, everything changes. She walks into a room quietly, not because she has nothing to say, but because she's already observing everything. The tone of voices, the tension in the air, the subtle shifts in energy. She notices things others ignore. Someone avoids eye contact. Someone forces a laugh. Someone feels off, even if they smile. She feels it all, but she doesn't say it, because every time she has, it didn't go well. So she learned to hold it in. And that's where the misunderstanding begins. People see silence and assume arrogance. People see distance and assume coldness. People see depth and assume drama. But what they don't see is the storm inside, the constant thinking, the emotional filtering, the fear of saying the wrong thing again. So she becomes selective. Selective with words, selective with people, selective with how much of herself she shows. And suddenly, she's labeled hard to read. But no one asks, what made her this way? Let's pause for a moment. Think about the last time someone misunderstood you. Not slightly, but completely. Where your intention and their interpretation were miles apart. What hurt more? What they said, or the fact that they didn't even try to understand? Hold on to that feeling, because that's where this story lives. The psychology behind a misunderstood girl isn't complicated, but it is deep. She doesn't communicate like most people, not because she can't, but because she learned early on that being fully expressive wasn't always safe. Maybe she was told she was too sensitive. Maybe her emotions were dismissed. Maybe she opened up once, and it was used against her. So she adapted. She started editing herself. Not lying, just reducing. Reducing reactions. Reducing explanations. Reducing expectations. And over time, she became someone who feels deeply, but expresses selectively. And here's the paradox. The less she explains, the more people misunderstand. The more she's misunderstood, the less she wants to explain. It becomes a cycle. A quiet one. A lonely one. She's not dramatic. She just processes things deeply. A simple comment stays in her mind longer than it should. Not because she wants it to, but because her brain connects everything. Tone, timing, expression, meaning. She doesn't just hear words. She hears what's behind them. And sometimes, that's overwhelming. So instead of reacting immediately, she withdraws. She thinks. She tries to understand. But from the outside, it looks like overthinking. Or worse, indifference. Here's something people often miss. She's not hard to love. She's just hard to read if you don't pay attention. Because she doesn't demand attention. She doesn't fight to be heard. She doesn't force herself into spaces that don't feel right. She simply fades. And people assume she doesn't care. But the truth? She cares more than most. She just doesn't show it loudly. Real life looks like this. A friend says, "You've changed." She hasn't. She just stopped over-explaining herself. Someone says, "Why are you so quiet?" She's not quiet. She's just not comfortable. Someone says, "You're overthinking again." She's not overthinking. She's trying to make sense of something that didn't feel right. But instead of being understood, she's simplified into labels. And labels are easy. Understanding someone deeply? That takes effort. Another pause. Ask yourself this. Do people misunderstand your silence? Because they never learned your language? Or because they never tried? Sit with that. There's also something else happening beneath the surface. Something subtle. She expects people to understand her, without her fully expressing herself. Not consciously, but emotionally. Because when you feel things deeply, you believe others should sense it too. But most people don't. Not because they don't care, but because they don't feel the world the same way. And this is where the real conflict begins. She communicates in feelings. Others communicate in words. And somewhere in between, the message gets lost. But here's the twist. The realization that changes everything. Being misunderstood is not always a sign that something is wrong with you. Sometimes, it's a sign that you're surrounded by people who don't have the capacity to understand you. And that's not arrogance. It's awareness. Not everyone has the emotional depth, or patience, or curiosity to truly see someone beyond surface behavior. And if you keep expecting deep understanding from people who live on the surface, you will keep feeling invisible. That doesn't mean you isolate yourself. It means you choose better conversations, better environments, better people who don't rush to label you, people who ask instead of assume, people who are comfortable with depth, not threatened by it. But there's also responsibility on your side. And this part is important. You cannot expect to be understood if you never allow yourself to be seen. Not fully, not perfectly, but honestly, because silence protects you, but it also hides you. And the right people cannot understand a version of you that you never show. So what does she do? She doesn't become louder. She doesn't change who she is. She becomes clearer. She learns to express without over-explaining, to set boundaries without guilt, to say, "That's not what I meant," without shrinking. And slowly something shifts. Not everyone understands her, but the right ones begin to. And that's enough. Because the goal was never to be understood by everyone. That's exhausting. The goal is to be real and be understood by the ones who truly see you. If you felt misunderstood most of your life, it probably means you feel deeply. Think carefully and protect your energy more than you show. That's not weakness. That's awareness, still learning how to express itself. And maybe you were never too much. Maybe you were just surrounded by people who were used to less. So the next time someone misunderstands you, don't immediately shrink. Don't rush to fix yourself. Pause. Ask yourself, did I express clearly, or did I expect them to just feel it? And then ask, are they even capable of understanding me? Because clarity and compatibility both matter. You don't need everyone to get you. You just need a few people who truly do. And until then, don't silence yourself to fit into shallow understanding. Refine your voice. Don't erase it. And maybe, just maybe, you're not misunderstood because you're confusing. You're misunderstood because you're deeper than what most people are used to reading. And depth takes time, takes patience, takes the right eyes. So if you've been that girl, the quiet one, the intense one, the one people always seem to get wrong, you're not alone. You're just still waiting to be understood by the right people. And when that happens, you won't feel like too much anymore. You'll feel finally seen. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more.